Have you ever listened to native English speakers talking while they're just doing chores around the house? It sounds different, doesn't it? It isn't the stiff, formal language you see in textbooks. It's fast, the words blend together, and they use phrases that might seem simple on the surface, but are actually really specific to daily life. If you want to sound natural, you need to know how to talk about the small things, like cleaning up or cooking dinner. Today, I'm going to walk you through 11 essential expressions that native speakers use every single day. By the end of this video, you won't just know new words, you will know exactly how to pronounce them so you can express yourself comfortably and fluently. All right, let's jump right into the first everyday phrase. This one is very common when you are in the kitchen. The phrase is, set it to dry. Now, imagine you just washed a plate. It's wet. You aren't going to put it away in the cupboard yet, right? You put it on a rack or a towel. You are setting it to dry. But here's the secret to sounding like a native speaker. It's not about the definition, it's about the pronunciation. If you read this in a book, you might say, set it to dry, hitting every T sound hard. But in real spoken English, we don't do that. Listen closely to how the T sounds change. In the word set, the T is at the end. When it connects to the word it, that T changes into a soft D sound. We don't say set it, we say set it. Set it. It flows together. Then look at the word it. The T at the end of it is what we call a stop T. You get your tongue ready to make the T sound at the top of your mouth, but you stop the air. You don't let the air explode out. So instead of it sounds like I with a sudden stop. And finally, the word to. In fast English, we almost never say to. We reduce it. It becomes t. So when you put it all together, it sounds like set it to dry. If you want to understand fast English, this is the key. You have to listen for how words blend. So next time you wash a cup, tell yourself, I'm going to set it to dry. Moving on to phrase number 2. This is for when you're being extra careful. The phrase is to wash by hand. We live in a world with dishwashers and washing machines, right? But sometimes you have a shirt that is very delicate, or maybe a fancy wine glass that might break in the machine. In those cases, you cannot use the machine. You have to do the work yourself. You wash it by hand. You'll hear this a lot with clothing labels or kitchenware. You might tell a guest, "Oh, please leave that glass on the counter. I need to wash it by hand." Grammatically, notice that we often split this phrase up. We usually put the object in the middle. We don't always say, I wash by hand the shirt. That sounds a bit robotic. Instead, we say, I need to wash it by hand, or I need to wash them by hand. It sounds much more natural that way. Let's go to expression number 3. This is a great idiom that you can use in relationships, at work, or just with yourself. The phrase is, let it slide. Imagine you're washing dishes and you see a tiny spot you missed. You could scrub it for 10 minutes, or you could just decide it's not a big deal and the dishwasher will fix it. You decide to ignore the problem. You let it slide. This basically means you're choosing not to worry about something. You're letting a mistake go without punishment or stress. Here's a real-life example. Let's say your friend is late for lunch. Usually you hate when people are late, but you know she's had a really hard week at work. So this one time, you don't get angry. You let it slide. However, you can also use this in the negative. If a student doesn't do their homework 3 days in a row, the teacher might say, I can't let it slide anymore. It means the patience has run out, and now there are consequences. It's a very useful phrase for social situations. Phrase number 4 is practical. It is let it soak. We're sticking with the cleaning theme for a moment. Sometimes you have a pot or a pan that has old, crusty food stuck to it. Maybe you burned the rice. If you try to scrub it immediately, it's impossible. It's too hard. So what do? You fill it with water and soap and you walk away. You leave it there for an hour. You're letting it soak. The pronunciation here follows that same rule we talked about earlier. The T in let connects to it, so it sounds like a D. Let it soak. You can use this for other things too. If you're painting a picture and your brushes get hard with dried paint, you put them in a cup of water to let them soak. It softens everything up so you can clean it easily later. Now, let's look at phrase number 5. This one seems simple, but it actually fixes one of the most common English mistakes I see students make. The phrase is, my husband's job. We're talking about possessives, showing who owns something. In many other languages, you might say, the job of my husband. And while that is technically understandable, it sounds very foreign. Native speakers almost always use the apostrophe S. It is my husband's job. If you're talking about your friend's car, don't say the car of my friend, say my friend's car. But here's a tricky part. What if the word already ends in S? For example, kids. You have more than one kid, the word is plural. Do you say kids-es? No. If the word is plural and ends in S, you just put the apostrophe at the very end. You don't add an extra sound. So you would write it with the mark at the end, but you just say, that is my kid's bedroom. It sounds the same, but the grammar is different. Mastering this little trick makes your English sound much smoother. Phrase number 6 is one of my favorites because it involves food. The word is leftovers. This is a noun. When you cook a big dinner, maybe a huge pot of soup or a roast chicken, and you can't eat it all, what remains is called the leftovers. In my house, we use this word constantly. If someone asks what's for dinner tonight and I don't feel like cooking, I'll just say we're having leftovers. It implies we're taking the food from the fridge that we saved from last night, heating it up, and eating it again. It's a great money saver, and it's a great word to know. You usually use it in the plural form with an S, leftovers. Phrase number 7 is a slightly more advanced word, but you'll hear it in cleaning and science. The word is residue. Listen to the middle sound there. It's spelled with an S, but it sounds like a Z, residue. Residue is that little bit of stuff that remains after you take the main part away. For example, if you buy a new plate and it has a price sticker on it, you peel the sticker off, but often it leaves that sticky, annoying glue behind. That sticky stuff is residue. Or if you drink a smoothie and you leave the glass on the table, when you come back, there's that dried, fruity stuff stuck to the bottom. That is oatmeal residue or fruit residue. It basically means the dirty trace of something that was left behind. Phrase number 8 is a phrasal verb that makes you sound very relaxed. The phrase is throw it in. Now, don't take this literally. We're not actually throwing things across the room like a baseball. When we say throw it in, we mean putting something somewhere quickly and casually. For example, if you're doing laundry, you might tell your spouse, hey, I'm running the wash, throw your socks in. It just means put them in the machine. We also use this a lot in cooking. If I'm making muffins, I might say, I think I'm going to throw some chocolate chips in the batter. I'm not throwing them aggressively, I'm just casually adding them to the mix. Notice the structure too. We often split it. Throw something in. Throw your bag in the car. Throw the keys in the bowl. It implies you're not being very careful or formal, you're just doing it quickly. Phrase number 9 is a tiny word with a big job. The word is just. We use just all the time to make things seem smaller, less important, or more casual. If you invite a friend over and your house is a bit messy, you might say, oh, don't worry about the mess, it's just our house. By using just, you're telling them, hey, this isn't a palace, it's not a formal event, relax. Or imagine a child makes a mistake and breaks a toy. You might tell the parent, don't be mad, he's just a kid. You're minimizing the seriousness of the situation because of his age. It's a softener. It takes the pressure off. It's just a small scratch, or it's just a quick question. It helps you sound polite and not too demanding. Phrase number 10 helps you build better sentences. The phrase is, get the water hot. This follows a pattern. Get plus the object plus the adjective. In the kitchen, before you wash dishes, you need to turn the tap on and wait. You are trying to get the water hot. But you can use this for so many things. If you're going out, you need to get the kids ready. If you're cooking, you need to get the dinner done. If you're nervous, you might get your hands sweaty. It's a very dynamic way to describe a change in state. You are causing the water to become hot. So try to use this pattern. Get plus the thing plus the description. I need to get this room clean. And finally, we have a bonus phrase for you today. This is a personality trait that can be good or bad. The word is picky. Are you a picky person? Usually we talk about this with food. A picky eater is someone who hates onions, hates spicy food, hates crusts on bread, and only eats 3 or 4 things. Parents often struggle with picky eaters. In this context, it's a bit negative, but you can also be picky in a good way. If you're a boss hiring a new manager for a very important department, you need to be picky. You can't just hire the first person who walks in the door. You need to select the best one carefully. You are being picky about the quality. So, if someone calls you picky, look at the context. Are they annoyed that you won't eat pizza, or do they admire your high standards? So, there you have it. We've covered pronunciation tricks like set it to dry, grammar tips like possessives, and casual phrasal verbs like throw it in. These are the real building blocks of daily English. If you want to really master this, try narrating your own life. When you're cleaning up tonight, say out loud, "I'm going to let this pan soak," or "I'm just eating leftovers." Using these phrases in real time is the best way to make them stick. I hope you found this breakdown helpful. If you want more lessons that help you speak like a real human and not a textbook, please make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the video reach more people. And don't forget to subscribe to 10-Minute English Academy for more straightforward, practical English lessons every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.